chances. If they maybe start to play like that from the 60th minute, this could be a different outcome. A decent performance for being the first match of the season, but you think about the match and the way that they had possession, the way that they went forward. It's hard to come away from that match knowing that you're 2-0 down and they maybe could have scored some big chances.
Yeah, look, difficult circumstances for Atlético Ottawa. It's not just that it was the first game. It's like you're playing your first game against an MLS side in Concacaf Champions Cup and you're doing it in Hamilton.
Yeah.
You know, it's not in front of a home crowd. You're not galvanized by that. Shout out to the Atlético Ottawa fans who made the trip, but it's very difficult to replicate what their natural home environment and atmosphere is like. And again, just the number of changes that have happened at this Atlético Ottawa side, like, I don't know. My biggest takeaway, no Rodriguez, no Salter, no solution up top. There were a couple chances that were created late. Even looking for a focal point in the attack, it just looks a completely different side. Not in terms of their confidence in building out of the back and what they're trying to do on the ball. It's just the process needs to have an outcome. And too many times, instead of going forward, the ball ends up being recycled back.
Yeah, and they're not at full strength right now. We have to say as well, with a knee not in the side, with a C not in the side as well. I thought those two players in particular tonight, with the pace that they bring, the physicality, they would have definitely helped Atlético Ottawa go forward. But you're so right. Their core, the back three, wing backs, central midfielders, they're there, but again, the fluidity going forward, Balou Tabla definitely needs some help up there as well. But it's not a cohesive squad from the attacking perspective yet. And I understand this is the first game. This is February. The season hasn't started yet. But the Atlético Ottawa that we kept talking about all of last season were just prolific going forward. They expressed themselves. And the way that they play this year, Wheels, or the way that Diego Mejia is going to want them to play is always going to be attacking football. But the way that they kept the ball and possessed it, but they didn't have that punch that they needed, that's what's missing. So we hope they find that soon.
You said the word yet. That attacking play didn't come through yet. I think it's reasonable to ask, will it?
Fair.
And like, is the talent that they have in the squad now, can it even come close to resembling what Salter and Rodriguez are and what they were able to produce?
I think,
and when I hear a reporter, Oliver Platt, pre-match say they're going to try to attack this in a different way, where it's going to be depth of players. I mean, it was the top-end quality that made them champions last season. I just think, like, look, Diego Mejia, an incredible manager, but he's going to have his work cut out for him if this is what the players in the attacking third actually look like.
Yeah.
It's
a fair question, and I think when you look at certain players like Mikkel Bust, and you look at Curry as well, I said it pre-game specifically about Curry, is that Sam Salter, even when it wasn't his day last year, he was still working his socks off. And that, for me, again, this is one game. I'm not going to judge these players about how they're playing right in mid-February. However, it needs to be present going through the season, that work rate is there, that hunger is there, being in the right position. I look at Curry tonight, I would love to see the stats of how many balls that he won or flicked on or won a foul for his team. All those intangibles, the way that Atlético Ottawa plays, it matters.
It's a big ask for an 18-year-old.
It is. It's a lot to come in, understandably. But if it's a Neen, if it's Curry, if it's Mikkelbus, one of those guys needs to be a focal point so that this team could start to be like their full self. Because this is the new Atlético Ottawa. Remember, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were saying this was a mundane side. I was saying that they played electric football, very attacking football, but they need a focal point to build off of.
Yeah, look, that's just a first glimpse. I'm not saying that these players that they have now aren't quality or can't be decent, but right now, there's no indication that they will be anywhere near Sam Salter and David Rodriguez. Two players that were true difference makers in that side last weekend. Your Volkswagen moment on the match, it came late. Like, look, there were inches, centimeters in this country away from making it 1-1. 90th minute, Cameron Abibula, another young player. Like, I just go back to last season. Is that ball in the back of the net if it's on the foot of Rodriguez?
Yeah, it should
or
be.
Salter? Probably.
It should be. He's 7 yards out, Habibula. It does get a little bit of a deflection from Mayer, but at the end of the day, you have to slow down your body as well. He doesn't need to run into that space. You know that cutback is happening. take your time, take a breath, and it's almost pick a corner, Wheels. If it needs to roof it and go high, but at that point, that needs to be 1-1.
Yeah.
Then you pack it up, you take your goal, you take that home goal, and you go to Nashville next week and you see what happens. At that point, you have to bury it.
That's why it's the moment of the match.
Yeah.
Like, if Ottawa could have got out of there with a 1-1, you take it. You
take it.
And then it ends up 2-0. Crazy. Your gate, another great chance. It's your Walmart delivery of the match. It came in the 94th minute. I mean, this is a wonderful run by Emiliano Garcia. Puts it on a platter. Little push-off. Mickelbus got away with it. But again, this ball needs to be in the back of the net.
Not enough desire for me. He's in the right position, but there was just no attacking header. The technique was poor. Just waiting for it and then kind of glimpses. You have to attack that. Wheels, he's 3 yards out. Mejia's expression says it all.
The goalkeeper's swimming, too.
You've done all the hard work. You're in the middle. You've given Mayer that little bit of a push. You're by yourself. Get up, head that ball down, and be the hero. At that point, you're 1-0 down. That's 1-1 there, too. So those 2 missed opportunities for Atlético Ottawa, that will keep Mejia up at night.
Yeah, we'll go through the goals. Your Gatorade performer of the match. I mean, a former CPLer. It's Woobens Pacius. His distribution was very good early in the game. And the 66th minute, he ends up breaking the deadlock and getting the goal. I mean, Pacius looks to be a more complete, a player that's ready to step up and play in MLS this season.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what spending the time in the CPL and the USL has kind of done for the young man.
Yeah, this is him in the first half. He gets the better of Noah Botney there. Makes the right decision here.
I like that ball.
Plays the chance big. Understands that there's a number advantage for his team. And again, this should be a better shot from Nashville in the first half. But I thought he had a great game. You can see that he's alive. I said back in 2022 when I played against him that he was a raw talent, but he always had a nose for goal. Look at that first touch. Second, third, very calm, and then just gives the keeper an eyes and does the reverse right there. I'll talk about the defending in a little bit, but I'll give Woobens his flowers for taking his time. Things slow down when you're a good striker in the box, and he took with one touch, he opened it up second, third, and passed it in the corner. But a Botney, if you're looking at Kozlowski as well, you have to get an arm on a player like that. You cannot give them that much space in the box.
Well,
a player like Woobens will punish you.
Anyone that's watched our broadcasts understand how high we are on 17-year-old Sergei Kozlowski.
Yeah.
But the one thing, with a touch like that, you can't get turned around the wrong way. He spun around like we're watching Olympic figure skating. You just got to keep your body out. And there was other defenders there that could have come in, but once you turn, you're giving so much space to the attacking player.
I also think once you get into the box as a defender, and I've been on the wrong end of these.
Yeah, of course.
The common denominator for me, if you can't get an arm on an attacker in the box, you're finished. Because they can drop a shoulder, they're going forward and you're going backwards. You have to be able to touch. If you can push him off balance, get a block, whatever it might be, that's defending. But the second you are an arm's length away and you don't have your arm out, you're cooked.
Woo, woo. Pacia scored 32 goals for Forge and a big one tonight back in Hamilton Stadium. This is the backbreaker, 95th minute. And the Nashville breakout starts deep in their own end. Ottawa is obviously pushing for a second. Not a great ball there. Boom! Massive collision right there in the midfield.
Really?
Henny Mukhtar gets crushed. Then he has that cheeky little touch. Then it's the parting of the Red Sea here. And Mukhtar really does the rest. Surge with the finish. But that right there is a former MLS MVP going to work.
I want to say this as well, Wheels. Most players stay on the ground and ask for that foul. He gets up right away and wants the ball, does the little Zidane step over as well, flies forward, plays a well-weighted pass, right? And then look at this, plays the chance big. But this is what we said. We looked at the lineup. We looked at, hey, your number 9 and number 10 aren't in the squad from the beginning. That has to be Atlético Ottawa's chance to go and score. And for me, just a bit too slow, a bit too tentative. As soon as Mukhtar come in the match, as soon as Serge come into the match, like Espinosa, there's a different swagger about this Nashville side. And then now they're 2-0 up going into the second leg with confidence.
You played against Mukhtar in Denmark.
Yeah.
He is the real deal.
Couldn't get near him. It was a preseason match, but couldn't get near him. Just a player that's very clever. But when you do get close, then he does what he does right there. Just a little step over, skips by you. And look, last year was maybe a down year for him, but the year before he was unplayable. So we hope he gets back to that type of quality because he's a joy to watch.
You're so right about the fact that he got up? Like, it's the 95th minute. It's 1-0. Yeah. You stay down, the game's over. He stood on his feet and was rewarded. They should use that video everywhere to advertise what happens when you actually stand on your feet and you play the game.
Number 10s want to change the game, but a lot of times it's like, if you've won a foul, you've done your job. But you look at him and he's like, look, I want to keep going. This is a fast break. We have a ball in transition. I want to make something happen, and that's exactly what he does. So kudos to him, because for me, that whole play from beginning to end, I understand Manny Aparicio wants to get the ball back post and try to get a last-ditch effort into the box. But Mukhtar says this is my time, and he runs 70 yards orchestrating everything.
Your All-State save in the match. Surge wasn't denied there in the end, but he was denied here just before the 90 were out. Garrison Innocent ends up making a really nice save down to his right. A little bit of an adventure on the night for Innocent, but gets a nice stop right there.
He gets down quickly, which you have to give him credit for. A Surge as well. That's a great little shot on target. The fact that the ball's in the air, he hits that first time. It's accuracy over power, which I always appreciate, right? He just passes that ball in, but Innocent gets down really quickly.
Back to Hamilton Stadium we go, and Oliver Platt joins me from pitch side. A tough night for Atlético Ottawa. Looked very comfortable on the ball at times, but I think the lead story here tonight, Oliver, is no Rodriguez, no Salter, no goals for Atlético Ottawa. That's where it seems like there's going to be a big gap, that they're going to have to find a solution some way, somehow. What did you see from your perspective?
Yeah, that side of things, I think you're right, Wills, is at the very least going to take some time. I actually wonder who are going to be the go-to guys for Atlético Ottawa this season. I think they went with Corey and Villau tonight because they've been here the longest. Obviously, Corey's been here last season, and Villau has been here, I believe, for the entirety of preseason. He was one of the earliest arriving signings. I wouldn't be surprised if, as the season goes on, the likes of Habibullah and Mikkelbust, who's got a bit of a pedigree coming from Norway and has scored some goals over there, play a more prominent role. And I think you saw a bit of impact in Aguilar as well, that those players were able to make when they came into the game later on. So it's too early to really draw any major conclusions, but certainly in that first half, they really struggled to get that front three on the ball and cause Nashville problems. And you just knew that that was going to be the period of the game where if they could get them, that was going to be the time to do it, obviously, before the likes of Mukhtar and Surridge came on in the second half.
It's funny because it seemed like the opportunity for Ottawa to do damage would have been when the likes of Mukhtar and Surridge and Espinoza weren't on the field, but the chances did end up coming late. But in the end, they're punished in the 95th minute. It just seems like conceding that kind of goal at that time is an absolute backbreaker for this Ottawa team.
Yeah, I mean, it swung there, right? It could have been 1-1. Instead, it's 2-0, and you feel like the tie is pretty much over going back to Nashville. They'll still go down there and give it a go, and it'll be a great experience no matter what. I'm kind of in two minds with this Ottawa side, because the way they talk about themselves, Diego Mejia told his team at training a couple of days ago they're the best team in Canada. Now, you can obviously say that's the Vancouver Whitecaps, but that's what he's telling them. They hold themselves to such a high standards. But being here on the sideline and you see them walk off the pitch and they're all very dejected, these are kids, right? They're not actual kids, but in football terms, they're kids. And they're going toe-to-toe with a team like this in Nashville who, you know, even their backup 11, which it pretty much was from the start, you know, vastly outweighs them in terms of experience, in terms of salary cap, so on and so forth. So it's kind of these competing, you know, standards that you hold them to of remembering how young this side is, how inexperienced it is, how remarkable it is that they even try to play the type of football they play at this level versus the standard they hold themselves to, where they're really disappointed tonight.
There were a number of Ottawa players who were unavailable, potentially important Ottawa players unavailable coming into tonight. Mbamio, Anel Assi, Rich Lord Anin up top. And then you have Joachim Collonge, who gets hurt in this game. And from your vantage point, it didn't look good for the young Ottawa fullback, did it?
It didn't, no. It happened on the opposite side of the pitch to me, so I didn't get a great look at the initial incident. It just seemed like he pulled up from what I saw, and then on the replay as well. But he was really upset. You know, he came off the pitch, wasn't putting any weight on his left leg, And yeah, was, like I said, looking pretty upset going down the tunnel. So we'll see if we can get an update on him post-game here, but it did not look like one that was going to be short-term and certainly in time for the second leg.
Tough one, Ollie. It was a night of what could have been for Atlético Ottawa. So close, just centimeters from finding that late equalizer, but it ends up in a 2-0 draw. Thanks. Great work tonight, Ollie. Really appreciate your time. Oliver Platt from Hamilton Stadium. Look at that. Not a shot on target. Like the Habibullah chance there late was cleared off the line by a defender.
Yeah.
And it could have gone either way because an Atlético Ottawa player was standing right there as well. It's just
inches, centimeters, like you said.
Small margins between
Football's cruel.
victory, defeat, or a draw. There you go. 54% possession. Nashville comfortable without it. We'll see what they have in store in the return leg in Music City. That is a road trip I wish I was going on.
So that good, there's still a chance for us, no?
Yeah. Let's hear the post-match comments of Atlético Ottawa midfielder Manny Aparicio after this one was done and dusted.
Yeah, just a tough one. Yeah, I mean, 1-0 would have been a little bit better in a way, although we didn't want to lose either way. But the second one, last kick of the game, really hurts. Yeah, just unlucky because we missed a few chances there in the end as well. So it could have been very different for sure.
You mentioned the chances. Did you think you had one at the end there?
Yeah, we were going into the game. We kind of found our feet there at the end. Again, just unlucky. Yeah, I mean, we'll regroup and we'll go at it again next week. We know we're capable of anything. We have trust in our guys, so we'll see how it goes next week.
There has been obviously some change in the squad from last season's team. Is a little bit of patience going to be required, do you think, as the new guys kind of work their way in?
Yeah, for sure. Our style of play is very particular. You know, a lot of guys have never played this way before. And even for ourselves that have played it last year, you know, just kind of finding our feet again and getting going. But yeah, it'll take a little bit of time, but hopefully next week it clicks in.
Thanks, Manny. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
Patience is a virtue that I simply don't have. Neither does anyone in my family, for that matter. And you can if you're Atlético Ottawa because you're playing again next week.
Look at that. A chance for redemption.
Like to. How do I get on this road trip to Nashville? I'm my stag do in Nashville. I could tell you where to go. Me and you could roll
That's your
down.
spot?
Nashville? One of my spots.
I would love to go to Nashville with you, Wheels.
KJ, do you think he wants to switch spots?
Maybe.
He could be. I love our One Soccer studio.
But you like Nashville.
But I love Nashville. Nashville, Henny Mukhtar, what a player, man. He just created that line. Late goal, and Nashville win 2-0 in Hamilton. A not so great home away from home for Atlético Ottawa tonight.
It's not just a game. 27 teams, one path.
The opening whistle from Nelson Selko. We are rolling.
Strength, madness, obsession. One cup. This is football, and these are its most epic battles. This is the Concacaf Champions Cup.
Well, guys, no school.
Snow day! Yes!
Come on,
Otherwise known as a WeatherTech Day.
let's go.
So when the weather turns bad, you can still find a way to enjoy it. With WeatherTech's laser-measured cargo liners, seat protectors, and floor liners. Order yours today at weathertech.ca. The ultimate protection for your vehicle.
Might be the luckiest shot I've ever seen. Hey, Mom. Chips. Whoa! Thanks, Mom.
Boys got you again?
For generations, we've put more goodness in so you get a whole lot more out of every single delicious egg. A lot goes into a little at Burnbrae Farms.
Think it can't get any better? We think you should have more. More confidence. More space. More style. And who doesn't want more fun? We all deserve more. That's why there's an SUVW for everyone. Taos, Tiguan, Atlas, Crossport, and the all-electric ID4.
Yeah, we had a great year. I think maybe the expectations have changed internally, externally. But at the same time, I think it's a lot of the same guys. Kind of have a consistency in the group, same coach. And so, yeah, I think we know what we've done, we did last year, but I think what hasn't changed is that we just have to get ready and do it all over again, and still have that same mindset and hunger to have a great year. Coming to places like Costa Rica, the stadium's always kind of roaring, and it's a kind of a more intense environment, I would say, than most MLS games. And as a player, you enjoy that. It's always fun to play in front of a packed stadium with people kind of just yelling at you and calling you names. So it's always exciting, so it's fun, and we're looking forward to it.
Good to see Ralph Priso smiling, happy, bawling, like looked great. Canada, Guatemala last month, and now we get to see Priso and the Whitecaps in action in the Concacaf Champions Cup tomorrow night, back in Costa Rica against Cartagena. They started their run to the final of this competition just about this time last year. We were in a different studio space. This one was still being built.
We're standing.
They ended up losing. What was it, Herediano?
Yeah.
They lost 2-1 on the night. After that, it was full steam ahead to an absolute dream season for the Whitecaps, and we'll see if they can replicate that, or maybe even 1 or 2 up it in 2026. Wheeler and Wilson with you. Much like last season, there was the off-field distractions pertaining to the Whitecaps' future. This time around, they've lost some key players. Ali Ahmed, front and center, is one of them. But this is very much the Thomas Muller show. And the expectations still on the field for the Whitecaps are sky high heading into the new campaign.
Everyone wants to know, like, how good will this team be? I want to know. I mean, speaking to Jesper Sørensen, looking at this team on paper, I guess people could argue and say that they're better, but then there's a world where, how do you replace Ali Ahmed? What do you do without a healthy Ryan Gauld? It seems like the guy who answered those questions last year on Jesper Sørensen, can you do it again? This is the beauty about sports, Wheels. You have a great year, you go to MLS Cup final, a couple months goes by, and you're like, well, can you do it again? Can you get there? Can you win this final? Can you win this tournament? I like this team. I like their chances going into this as well. But it starts tomorrow. Tomorrow's the time we really get to dissect this team.
I'm going to save the proverb that he shared with me for tomorrow night's broadcast.
Very good
like, the dude, like, I hope he wears his turtleneck sweater. The guy is a look. He's an incredible manager. And I cannot wait to see what Muller does in this competition.
Yes.
Remember when Messi took CONCACAF Champions Cup by storm?
Literally.
Could this be Thomas Muller's time to do that?
He has all the qualities.
We'll wait and find out. Tomorrow night, the Vancouver Whitecaps, the TELUS Canadian champions, right here, back on One Soccer. Good stuff tonight, Jordan.
Appreciate it, buddy.
And I want to thank our entire crew here at One Soccer as well. 3 Canadian teams we've seen in action, the Concacaf Champions Cup. The Vancouver Whitecaps will make it 4. Tough one. I mean, there's a couple really gilt-edged chances wasted by Atlético Ottawa in the end. New kits look great, though. They look phenomenal. The Hummel kits, they're great. But Rubens Pasillas, a former CPLer, got his due, scored his goal, goes down as the match winner. We'll do it again next week in Nashville. I'm Gareth Wheeler, and this has been the Concacaf Champions Cup right here on One Soccer.